of Fox Sports.
A happy 4th of July from downtown St. Louis. The air show is in town. And kids are having a great time in front of the sprinklers. One other idea might be to join us here at Busch Stadium as the Milwaukee Brewers are in town. Final game of a 4-game series here at Busch Stadium. And a happy 4th of July to you. I'm Rick Horton along with Al Roboski. Al, we have an outstanding pitching matchup here this afternoon.
Really do. The ace of the Milwaukee Brewers is Gallardo. He's won 8 of his last 9. He's also hit 3 home runs this year. Another good hitting pitcher is Adam Wainwright. He's looking for win number 12. He's had a lot of success against the Milwaukee Brewers, including his last effort, which is his first complete game shutout of the season and his career. That was at the hands of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Wainwright's been outstanding. Gallardo has won 8 of his last 9 games. There are Toyota keys to the game here this afternoon. Looking forward to the final game here at Busch Stadium. We've got a report about Fox Sports, the great contribution they've made to our servicemen and women halfway across the world. We'll have that when we come back. U.S. troops moving through a very hot Southwest Asia get to enjoy a creation that was first thought up back in November by Fox NFL Sunday crew after a special show in Afghanistan. It was a historic telecast for Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and the entire Fox NFL Sunday team. And like military personnel deployed in Southwest Asia, they had a stopover at an Air Force base in Qatar. The base watering hole, the Desert Eagle Lounge, was pretty standard. But in a few months, it was transformed into the Armed Forces Crown Jewel of the Desert. The 5,000-square-foot state-of-the-art Fox Sports Skybox opened its doors to all military personnel deploying to or from Qatar.
To me, it's just remarkable that we met a timeline that, again, from concept 7 months ago to literally open the facility, that's really a milestone. It really is. It's remarkable.
The construction and renovation work was carried out by the military. Fox Sports donated the materials and all the equipment, including the 24 40-inch flat-screen TVs, the pool tables, the chairs, sofas, bar, Fox Sports stylings, and the soldiers don't have to pay for their beverages. Unlimited soft drinks and 3 beers per visit.
Oh, this is a nice place. It makes you feel at home. It's like a regular bar back home.
You come in here and you're like, oh, where am I? It's nice.
The Fox Sports Skybox, an oasis for the hundreds of thousands of servicemen and women who serve throughout Southwest Asia. From concept to completion in just months, now the brave armed service members will have a piece of home. The Sports Lounge experience, courtesy of Fox Sports. We'll have more 4th of July fun from Busch Stadium when we come back. Celebration. First half of the season is complete. The Cardinals will be well represented, Al, at this year's All-Star game.
Well, congratulations to these 5. Albert and Molina, they make it on the vote. Matt Holliday as a reserve, and then a pair of starters, Adam Wainwright, who will be trying to win number 12 today, and Chris Carpenter. Congratulations to the Cardinals.
We look forward to that game. One player that will not be there is Prince Fielder, the Brewers' first baseman. Let's hope he doesn't take it out on the Cardinals here today. Ready? Before we have baseball, it's very fitting for us to honor our country with our national anthem. And a flyover by a B-52 bomber. Tony La Russa hoping that his club can come alive here on this 4th of July. Baseball next. To you by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. By Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the loosest slots. Handing out flags here at the ballpark. A happy 4th of July. As the kids look forward to a celebration with their family, we hope you are enjoying your celebration at home and look forward to Cardinal baseball here this afternoon. Kind of a warm afternoon in St. Louis. Cardinals coming off a couple of rough ball games on Friday and Saturday, looking to rebound here today. And they're going to send their ace to the mound in Adam Wainwright.
Wainwright's been very special here at home. 8-0, microscopic ERA. So you'd like to think that the new All-Star. Congratulations to Wainwright. As the Cardinals have 5 All-Stars, they'll be well represented at the game. And Adam Wainwright gets his first selection.
And he'll be opposed by another all-star. That's Giovanni Gallardo, and Wainwright getting ready to take the field. We'll go to this date in history, brought to you by Schnucks. Albert Pujols, 2008. Well, he's done that a few times in his career. Hit the long ball. That was number 300. That was in a losing cause off of Bob Howry.
Now he's 14 home runs away from 400 in his career.
Tied with the center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers at 386. That's Jim Edmonds. He'll be in the lineup today, as will Albert. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup here this afternoon. Ricky Weeks was a lot of trouble here yesterday. He leads off. Then Cory Hart, Prince Fielder, did not make the All-Star team. Braun, Edmonds, Counsell. Jonathan LaCroix gets the start behind the plate. Alcides Escobar is the shortstop. And Gallardo, who has been a very hot pitcher, and he too an all-star. And they will see what they can do against our Marshall Wireless starting pitcher, Adam Wainwright.
Mentioned he's 8-0 at home, trying to win his 12th game. ERA at home is second best in the National League at 1.49. By the way, Jaime Garcia has the best at 1.20. But Wainwright, last time he faced these Brewers, he pitched his best game of his career, his first complete game shutout, and we're hoping for more of the same.
And we'll look at the defense behind first-time All-Star Adam Wainwright. Holiday, Rasmussen, John Jay in the outfield. Jay getting the start today. Felipe Lopez, Tyler Green, the shortstop. Schumacher, Pujols, and Molina and Wainwright are the battery. Nice to see John Jay contribute since his recall, and Tyler Green as well. He's in the lineup at shortstop. Nice to see these young faces, Al.
You're absolutely right. Now, both of them had been here earlier, but if they weren't going to get extended playing time, you know, they were better off going back to AAA, playing every day. And now, with the injury to Ludwig, John Jay gets a chance, and hopefully he can play every day and make it worthwhile.
And our ball game is underway. First pitch strike to Ricky Weeks. Weeks homered here to lead off the game yesterday. He has 13 on the season. Nice to have him in the leadoff spot.
Well, he really is. You know, his 13 home runs, 49 RBIs out of the leadoff spot is the best in the major leagues. He's also third in runs scored. That's a very important category for a leadoff man.
Does strike out a bit much for a leadoff hitter, but has very good speed, and we saw him play some pretty good defense yesterday as well. And there's a swing and a miss at a curveball. And that is strikeout number one for Adam Wainwright. Big breaker.
Adam has his good 12-6 working early in the game. It can be very tough. Keep that ball down there, and you know the bottom's going to fall out of it, and by the time it gets to the plate, it will definitely be out of the strike zone. Maybe a chance it'll be bouncing, but it looks good coming in, and they swing at it and commit. Cory Hart, an all-star.
And he's hit in 18 straight games, and he deserves it. Actually had a terrible spring training, Al, and they were talking about how they were going to find at-bats for this guy because he just lost it.
Well, remember the first time we went to Milwaukee, Cory Hart was sitting on the bench, right, and Jim Edmonds was playing right field. Cory Hart has really put things together, almost an RBI in his last 50 games per game.
And he pops this one into shallow center field. Rasmus takes care of Hart. 88 degrees here at game time, downtown St. Louis. A bit overcast, Al, but a perfect afternoon for holiday baseball.
You were mentioning that Prince Fielder not on the All-Star team. Very, very tough competition at first base in the National League. There's a lot of good first basemen, and you can't take them all.
And we'll let you know the rest of the All-Stars as we continue on with our telecast, and Prince Fielder is not one of them. The power numbers are there, 18 homers, 36 RBIs, a little bit low for a halfway point of the season. The average at 266, but Brewers will be represented by Ryan Braun and Cory Hart.
And Gallardo. They're starting today. Albert will be making his 9th appearance in 10 years. Adam will be making his first. Matt Holliday his 4th. Carpenter third. And Yachty his 2nd.
Amazing to think that Wainwright has not been in an all-star game yet.
If you look at what Wainwright has done the last 2 years, he leads the baseball and wins. You take last year, his 19, and now he's got 11 this year. Great ERA during that time.
There's a line drive right at the second baseman, Schumacher, who's playing shallow right field. Good defensive positioning. Lopez will lead it off when we come back. A nice view of the arch here, downtown St. Louis. Go to the bottom of the first inning, no score. On a wonderful 4th of July here in St. Louis. Here's a look at the Cardinals lineup facing Gallardo. Lopez, Rasmussen, Pujols will lead it off here in the first inning. Matt Holliday will be in left field. John Jay, the right fielder. Skip Schumacher at second base. Molina behind the plate. Adam Wainwright will do the pitching. And Tyler Green gets the start. He'll hit in the 9th spot. And the first pitch is driven up the middle for a base hit for Lopez. And how about that? There's a good way to start.
No doubt about it.
And here's the defense for Milwaukee. Braun, Edmonds, and Hart in the outfield. Nobody is better than Edmonds in center field. Counsell, Escobar, Weeks, and Fielder on the infield. And Gallardo looking for victory number 9 on the season.
8-3, you see ERA, very good. Opponents only hitting .220. Home runs are down, only 6. Just signed a 5-year contract in April, and he's only 24 years of age. They say he's kind of gotten away from his changeup and really just pounding the fastball. And he's had his injury problems in the last couple of years, but by far their ace.
Looks early on like the Cardinals' approach will be swing at that first pitch.
As long as it's a strike, can't argue with it. And if he's going to be pounding fastballs, that's not a bad idea. He does possess a curveball also.
Rasmussen's numbers very good. Solid season, solid first half.
Runs equaled his total of a year ago.
Yeah, and it's multiplied by 2 day, Al. Yesterday closed out the first half of the season. So
I got you. It took me a while, but I got you.
It's math, Al. I'm sorry to spring that on you. There's a base hit to right field for Rasmus. Lopez rounds second and will hold there as he respects the arm of Cory Hart in right field. Back-to-back hits to start it off for the Cardinals. Nice to have guys on in front of Albert Pujols.
And be nice to strike early. strike early, strike often. It's a pretty good formula for winning.
No doubt about it. Nobody's as good as the Cardinals when they do strike first. Nobody in baseball. 31-7. Even better record than the Yankees in that department.
The real key is scoring in more than 4 innings. And people always talk about scoring runs, but you got to do it. You got to add on. Cardinals scoring 3 runs or fewer innings, they're 2 games under 500. But scoring in 4 or more innings, they're 10-1. And way too many times, maybe even when the Cardinals jump out to a lead, they just don't add on. Puts pressure on the pitching staff, the defense.
And they're threatening Gallardo here, and he has painted Albert Pujols inside then outside. Gallardo was not very sharp in his last outing. He did win that game, but he gave up 4 runs in just 6 innings on 7 hits as he beat the Astros. And again, he's won 8 of his last 9 decisions. His last poor game was against the Cardinals. Really poor game was against the Cardinals here in April.
If you talk to people around Milwaukee, they'll say that was the only really bad game he's had all season long. That was April 10th. He allowed 6 runs. And a couple times he's allowed 4 after that.
Albert's had a lot of chances in the first half with 2 or more runners on base. We look at his numbers from last year and this year. A lot of chances this year. The average has dipped. Last year he was incredible. Hit .447, had 4 home runs, 36 RBIs, just 1 home run this year with 2 or more runners on base. And the average still respectable at .314, but not as high. There's a ground ball to first. This could be a double play, but the fielder not able to get the lead runner. Has to settle for 1. Flips it to Gallardo. And I'm not sure why Fielder didn't get rid of that baseball.
Well, he didn't have the handle or just didn't trust himself throwing. Kobe looked like he had plenty of time. Escobar maybe a touch late in covering, but not that far. And he elected to go to first base, so both runners advance. See if Matt Holliday, who you look at those numbers, he'll represent the National League for the 4th time. But this has been his troublesome area, but much improved in driving in runners with them being in scoring position.
He's talked about being a lot more comfortable at the plate, being a little bit more upright in his stance, so he's not lunging and leaning over to attack the baseball. And we've seen certainly a rise in his offense. And when he hits the ball hard. I mean, as hard as any Cardinal.
Ricky, so many times he just overpowers the ball and drives it through the infield. And it's hard to measure his strength.
The ball he hit off of Trevor Hoffman early in this series to the center fielder Gomez, I mean, it just flew past him. It was almost like he couldn't react to it, even in center field. The 1-1. I wonder if they'll be careful with first base open here. The defense behind Gallardo. John Jay hits from the left side, but he is a little more unproven, certainly, than Holliday.
Sure.
Be careful with Holliday here.
I think you always have to be careful with him, but Matt a lot better now as he made a little adjustment. He was getting tied up inside, and their clubs are still trying to work on him, especially clubs that haven't seen him in the last 3 or 4 weeks. As he's changed and improved as a hitter. You know, they remember earlier in the season when they were getting him out, pitching him inside, and now they're going to intentionally pass him. Ball behind the count, 3-1, so they go ahead and put him on, and they'll go after John Jay.
That's a great point about the book, Al. Sometimes that book gets outdated. Think you know how to pitch somebody, but they change. And a little conversation now about how to attack John Jay, who's been good as a pinch hitter for the Cardinals, but also has done well when he's had a chance to start, average over 300 and really tearing up AAA. There's his numbers. But he pretty much throws a good at-bat at you every time.
Really been impressed with him as, very solid. You see where Gallardo on the first base side of the rubber.
Ball hit on the ground to fielder, and he boots it on the Weeks, and a close play at first. They get John Jay, but the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead on the misplay by Prince Fielder.
Fielder looked like he would have plenty of time to get the force out at home plate. And he rolls over on a pitch up and away, and then he tried to be in position to field that ball and throw in all in one motion as he's trying to get there, and he just comes up, does not come up with a baseball. Alertly, Ricky Weeks backing up. Also, Gallardo. It's natural that you just kind of, when you see the ball get by the first baseman, you stop your forward progress to first. So a good job by the pitcher to get over there, too.
There's that 31-7 number we talked about. Cardinals do score first. Little small ball here in the bottom of the first inning. 3-4-1 is the scoring, and an RBI for John Jay. Skip Schumacher will try to add on. And a little bit of what you're talking about, Al, not just scoring in multiple innings, but adding on when you've got opportunities to turn a one-run inning into a big inning.
And not only, very good point, because you've got to come up with those key two-out base hits. I think runs are going to be a premium today. May not get many more opportunities against a premier pitcher like Gallardo, but for whatever reason, he's had his problems against the Cardinals. He's 0-3 and an ERA at better than 6.5 against the Cardinals.
1-2 to Schumacher. Grounds it to Fielder again. They're picking on the first baseman. Busy inning for Prince Fielder. He retires Schumacher. The Cardinals strike first. Wainwright back to the hill. Is it A, barbecues, B, fireworks, C, fairs? Text 4th, A, B, or C to 432-432. And I can think of a couple other things, Al, that didn't make our list there, but you're going to have to pick either A, B, or C. Barbecues, fireworks, or fairs.
Well, our minds don't quite work the same way, Ricky, so I'm not sure where you're going.
D should be reading a good book. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking,
That
Al?
definitely wasn't going to be on my list. Not on 4th of July, Ricky.
Always a good time to learn, Al. Brian Braun. Takes a strike. The count even to him. Good curveball from Wainwright.
Did you learn that Ryan Braun is the first Brewer to ever be selected to 3 consecutive All-Star games, to start 3 consecutive All-Star games?
He's a tough out. Really kind of a complete player. You wouldn't say he's a very good defensive player, although certainly a better left fielder than he was a third baseman. But he runs very, very well. Can hit for average. Power numbers down a bit, only 11 home runs this season, but he's not a guy you want to pitch to in a clutch situation. And when he gets hot, he's as good as anybody.
Yeah, part of that numbers being down is he hasn't hit well at home, but the National League leading hitter on the road.
Braun has that unique style of swinging about shoulder high as a way of kind of making sure he stays on top of the ball. Little reminder. And he was over the top of that pitch on the inside half. Strikeout number 2 for Wainwright, and a good way to start the second inning. Jim Edmonds will hit, and what a day he had yesterday. 4 hits. Sprayed it all over the place. Also had a stolen base on a misplay by Tyler Green. And he was, of course, our star of the game, including his home run, 386th of his career.
That's his first 4-hit game here at this ballpark. And Jimmy last night, his wife Allison threw a surprise birthday party for him at his restaurant, Jim Edmonds 15 Steakhouse. I was there with a few of the Cardinal players, but most of his teammates from Milwaukee, and it was a very, very nice affair. He turned 40 last Sunday, but Allison celebrated it last night here in St. Louis.
He had some day last night, that's for sure. There's a strike at the knees. One of the things with Jim Edmonds is, you know, once he's been gone, how good a defensive player he is. You miss that.
Well, they still will tell you that even at age 40, you can still track him down and make some sensational plays. And they've noted what we all saw, that the plays are very shallow, and how many base hits he's taken away from hitters with a ball hit in front of him.
The accurate throws.
Not the strongest, but I mean, it's a good throwing arm, but very accurate.
And another strikeout for Adam Wainwright on a curveball. That's 3 now for Waino.
Waino's playing with a little extra adrenaline. Look at how tight that breaking ball is. He's starting it around the belt, and then it bottoms out. But last couple of years was hopeful of an all-star selection. Kind of got his hopes up. This time he was just trying to be more patient. Found the news today, and you know, he's just psyched. There's a guy that Counsell was in the lineup because he's had some success. There are very few the Brewers have had any success against Adam.
And a 2-hopper to short. And almost a wide throw handled by Pujols. Quick inning for Wainwright. Yadier Molina will lead it off. Fox Sports Midwest welcomes the all-star musical Damn Yankees to the Muni in Forest Park. Join Fox Sports Midwest at the opener on July 12th or make plans for the rest of the Forest Park series through July 18th. It's Damn Yankees at the Muni. For tickets, visit muni.org. Cardinals lead 1-0. And they are set to hit here in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the order for the Redbirds. Molina, Wainwright, and Tyler Green against Giovanni Gallardo. There's a line drive right at the right fielder, Hart. Molina hit that ball very well. Again, first ball hitting.
Yanni's had some bad luck recently, as he's hit several balls right on the nose, but been right at a fielder. And we got two of the better hitting pitchers in the game. These two guys combined have 12 home runs lifetime. A lot of fans in the stands.
Fans, I get it.
Be careful, Ricky. Your mother might get upset if you're understanding me.
Boy, never were truer words spoken, Al.
I'm sure glad you rectified everything with the immigration department.
Oh, man. Can't tell you how many people stopped me and asked me if Al was actually telling the truth or not. 2-0 to Wainwright. A little bit of respect so far from Gallardo. Adam batting 167 on the season. Hasn't seen the power this year, but as you mentioned, has it in his repertoire for sure.
He has 5 home runs in his career, and Gallardo has 3 this year and 7 on his young career.
I suppose what you do is you throw 2-1 breaking balls to pitchers if they know what to do with the bat.
Sure. You just have
no giving in against these guys.
No. I mean, you've got to think that, if you fall behind, you can throw your fastball by a pitcher, but you also have great respect for him.
One of 2010's best values is the MasterCard Grand Slam Ticket Pack. On Monday through Thursday games, you can get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for just $60. Tickets available at Cardinals.com. And this crowd enjoying their afternoon at Busch Stadium, hoping that the Cardinals can start the second half of the season in good fashion. So far, so good. They lead 1-0. Tyler Green hits with 2 outs.
How about the home run he hit Friday night?
He said it surprised even himself how far he hit that ball. Didn't know he could do that.
They measured just a little over 400 feet, but I mean, that was just to the left of Big Mac land.
I wasn't sure that was the right number. I thought he hit it further than 407, didn't you?
Well, it's so scientific how they measure them. They have a chart that basically an outline of the ballpark. They say, okay, the ball hit supposedly here. They look on the chart, and it's like, 407. Very scientific.
I think they actually used trajectories to try to figure that out, how far the ball would have gone. And he runs well, too. Doesn't beat that one out. 3 up, 3 down for the Redbirds. On to the third. 1-0 Cardinals. Baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2010 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 13th, live from Anaheim at 7 p.m. only on Fox. And congratulations to the 5 Cardinals who are selected to the National League All-Star team, including this afternoon's pitcher, Adam Wainwright. He is set for the bottom of the order. And it's Jonathan LaCroix, the catcher, to lead it off. 5 Cardinals selected: Wainwright, Carpenter, Pujols, Holiday, and Molina. All be headed to Anaheim, so they don't get the days off, Al.
And this year, you know, they say any starting pitcher that pitches on Sunday before the All-Star break is not eligible for the game. And both Cardinals starters, Wainwright and Carpenter, will not pitch on that Sunday, so they will both be eligible.
7 straight retired by Wainwright. And Chris Carpenter, I guess, had some good news, bad news yesterday. The bad news was he just was not sharp. Good news is
he's alive.
He's alive and he's an all-star.
Right.
And he should be an all-star. His numbers dictate that. You'd almost make a case for Jaime Garcia.
Yeah, but it's really tough when you have 6.
I would agree.
The Cardinals did have 6 back in 04 or something. Probably 05. Let's see, it was 05. Cardinals had 6: Carpenter, Eckstein, Edmonds, Isringhouse, Pujols, and Rowland. So
the Atlanta Braves, the other National League team, with 5 representatives this year. And in the American League, the Red Sox and the Yankees have 6 each. Imagine that.
Yeah, dominate the landscape.
Ouch.
But I guess it's, in fairness, the Cardinals are playing their 82nd game, and they have 5 All-Stars, and we have no problem with all those selections.
I agree.
But, you know, you look at this team as an underachieving team.
A lot of good pieces that haven't found their way together yet. There's a fly ball into right field. Handled easily by John Jay. And while we're talking about the All-Star game, voting isn't over quite yet. Beginning today through July 8th, you can vote for the final player, the 34th player, for each league roster. You go to Cardinals.com, cast your All-Star game final vote for the final 2 players who go to the All-Star game in Anaheim. Vote now at Cardinals.com. I know who my vote is, but I don't want to influence. There's a base hit by Gallardo, and you're right, Al, he can hit.
9 for 38 now with 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. We showed the other night Jaime missed first base and then kind of got caught as he was middle infielders deked him at second and threw him out. A strong throw from Hart from right field. So Jaime was out twice basically.
He's going to get some hits in his career. He's got a nice swing.
Yes, he does.
But you do have to touch the bases. They make
helps.
you do that. It's one of those rules. There's a bit of a hanger fouled straight back by Ricky Weeks, who struck out to lead this game off. Garcia's been very, very good this season. His last outing, maybe one of his best.
True, and it was a nice bounce back. You know, some people were overly concerned about the rough outing in Kansas City, but he bounced back with 7 shutout innings, only 3 hits allowed. If you have one bad outing out of every 15 starts, you're going to have a heck of a year.
I agree. We mentioned the voting that's ongoing. There's a list of 5 players who you can get online and vote for, either Heath Bell, Carlos Gonzalez for the Rockies, Joey Votto for the Reds, Billy Wagner, or Ryan Zimmerman.
You picked Zimmerman on because of his college.
No, I know he did go to University of Virginia. I'm glad you brought that up. But no,
Votto?
I'd have to say Votto deserves being an all-star. But everybody gets a chance to vote. This is America. It's July 4th. Vote your conscience.
There's now one of those first basemen that not everyone can be on that team.
You mentioned Weeks strikes out a lot, up among the league leaders.
He's got 90 strikeouts on the season now, just striking out in the first.
But long ball potential. Molina sets up outside. That's where the cutter goes. And the count now full to Ricky Weeks, which will send the runner Gallardo off of first base. He had the first hit of the game for Milwaukee. Cardinals have a couple of hits. Lopez and Rasmus led off the game with hits. Lopez later scoring. 3-2 to Weeks. He's on the corner. Strike three. Strikeout number 4 for Wainwright. He looks sharp today. Weeks doesn't agree. Doesn't matter. Happy folks at the ballpark. One person who's not very happy right now is Ricky Weeks, as he gets called out on strikes and he begs to differ, Al.
See how far off the plate he is, and then the ball down the way, close enough, but he objects to that strikeout. Second of the game for him. Little argument ensues with our crew chief, and John Hirschbeck has heard enough, and he throws him out. So Ken Mock has replaced Ricky Weeks with Joe England. He'll be playing second base now.
Looked as if the home plate umpire, John Hirschbeck, was kind of enjoying that little back and forth. He probably could have walked away from Ricky Weeks, let him have his say, but I don't know if he didn't egg him on a little bit there, Al.
Oh.
I hate it when umpires do that.
They wouldn't.
Oh, they wouldn't?
Of course they wouldn't.
Okay.
They're not as bad as they used to be, though.
I agree. I agree.
They used to just take 4 steps right at you. Or if after an argument, they would position themselves where after you got your glove, you had to run right by the umpire. And we're just forced to say something.
Well, Ricky Weeks will be enjoying his barbecue a little earlier today. 1-0 Cardinals. Felipe Lopez has scored the game's only run.
Cardinals have an off day before they go out west, when they open up a series against Colorado on Tuesday, and then go to Houston. The All-Star break follows.
And handled flawlessly by England, the second baseman. And that ball finds you. You get in the game, ball finds you.
It could be a big loss. Ricky, with one swing, could do a lot of damage, and England, who had to replace him defensively, is a very good pinch hitter. He leads the baseball in pinch hits.
Colby Rasmus with one out. First pitch a bit low. Good fastball from Gallardo. He throws mid-90s. There's a line drive for Rasmus. He's now 2 for 2 as he hits a bullet to right field. Colby has been an interesting study this year. He's had some great at-bats, some great streaks, and some down streaks, and today he looks like he's on an upswing.
And Ricky, I'll ask you, because Colby hit 9 home runs in June, and he's got 16 on the season. That equals his total of his rookie year, but we've seen a lot of young hitters when they start hitting home runs in bunches, then they try to hit home runs, and it detracts from their ability to just hit for average.
Even Jim Edmonds was talking about that early this season with Milwaukee, and he's certainly not a young hitter, but if a hitter starts thinking home run, other things tend to go south, and Colby is certainly more of a gap hitter. I think long term the home runs will come.
Right, and of course Jimmy was falling victim to trying to get to 400 home runs, as he and Albert both hit home runs yesterday. They were 386 in each of their careers.
Albert leads the National League with those 20 home runs.
A little difference in age.
Both great contributions to Cardinals baseball, though.
Oh, yes. And, you know, Jim Edmonds is very happy with the playing time that he's getting with Milwaukee, but if the Brewers were to fall out of contention, he wouldn't lobby for it, but he sure would be pleased if he went to a contender. And guess where probably his first choice would be?
Somewhere in the Midwest?
Somewhere in the Midwest, and then we could probably get a little more specific. Probably zero in the state of Missouri. And I said a contending team, so it kind of
leaves out some others.
Yeah, it kind of moves more to the east part of the state.
Minnesota's in the Midwest. Kind of.
It's early, but maybe the Cardinals will get some help from the Cubbies. They lead 2-0 over the Reds in the bottom of the second.
2-1 to Albert. Here's a line drive, base hit up the middle for Pujols. And the Cardinals with back-to-back hits with one out here in the third inning. Albert went down to get this ball out.
Well, he's way out in front. You see him out there reaching, and then to kind of get that little extra extension, he releases the right hand, and then he's so strong he still can follow through with just the left hand. He just guided that ball over the shortstop's head.
Matt Holliday hitting behind Albert Pujols. What a 1-2 punch this is, and we'll look at the combination of the two power hitters from Milwaukee and St. Louis. Fielder Braun versus Pujols and Holliday. Hard to pick which one you like better, but since July 24th of last year, pretty good numbers, both of them.
Well, I'll take the Cardinal combination because of the average, and they had more RBIs. The Brewers get them a little bit in home runs, but still that much, not that much of difference. And you're getting into that part of the season where Matt Holliday just gets hotter and hotter.
1-1 to Holliday, and there's a line drive down the right field line, and it is foul. Pujols was 3/4 of the way to third base, and he would have scored on that ball all the way from first had it gotten down.
So it goes right off the wall. So not by much, but clearly foul, and that's what you need. Just jump out here do some damage.
Big gap in left center for Holiday. Did he go?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Called by the home plate umpire. But that's, you know, what we talk about, going up the ladder or changing the eye angle. You keep the ball down. Then all of a sudden you run something up around the eye level, and hitters really have a hard time laying off that pitch. You see it so well, their hands want to swing at it, and their mind says it's a strike, until all of a sudden they go, no.
And the studies that have been done, you really have less than a half a second to decide where the pitch is, whether or not to swing at it or not.
And you see it more clearly because it's up at this level. It's closer to your eye level. And it's just hard to stop that swing.
What's up to John Jay now? The Cardinals want to have a little two-out magic and extend this lead. Gallardo misses high and away, 1-1.
Ricky, that is something that has changed. In my time, it was much easier to get hitters to swing at those pitches up because they called a higher strike zone to begin with.
Edmonds shallow in center. One is hit on the ground and booted by Escobar. Goes into center field, and the Cardinals lead 2-0. A tough hop for Escobar to try to handle.
His first mistake, and he screened a little bit by the runner. But, you know, those plays have to be made. But he's backpedaling. Watch when you start backpedaling like that, you're at the mercy of the hop. When you come forward, when you're an aggressive fielder, then you can kind of pick your hop, or you can get in position. But you're more in line to where you can adjust to the ball up or down. When you're going backpedaling, you're in trouble.
Error number 12 on the season for Escobar. And the Cardinals have taken advantage of some shoddy Milwaukee defense the first few innings here. Fielder had some opportunities in the first inning. Escobar lets the ball play him a bit, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
Well, the days of infielders trying to knock a ball down are long gone, aren't they?
You can't let that ball get into the outfield. Even if you drop it, you cannot let that ball get in the outfield.
Save a run.
0-2 fouled off by Schumacher. Milwaukee playing Schumacher pretty much straight up in the outfield and the infield, but he's gotten a lot of his hits the other way this season. That's what he prefers to do. That's really where his strength is. Gap left center.
And you don't have to play too deep.
He tries to shoot it that way and fouls it off to the left. And pitchers, of course, know when a hitter tries to go the other way, they try to make you pull the ball, even if you don't want to.
Adam's sitting there concentrating on what he has to do. You're kind of a casual observer of what your offense does, because you're just concentrating on what your assignment is to stop their offense.
And nobody's talking to him either. Broken bat, watch out in the stands. Escobar boots it again. Error number 13 on the season for Alcides Escobar. Prolongs the inning.
Watch this little flare out there. Escobar comes in and at least keeps it in front of him. And you said earlier the ball could find you.
Two errors in the inning by Escobar. Gallardo has some more work to do. The Cardinals now with the bases loaded. Pujols is the runner at third. John Jay reached on an error, as did Skip Schumacher.
Maybe this is what Molina needs to help him out a little bit. He's tied for second in the National League with 13 RBIs in bases loaded situations. 5 for 8. That's a 625 average, and 13 of his 30 RBIs have come in those 8 at-bats. He had 15 RBIs in April, and then 15 since then. And then to think that 13 of those RBIs have come in only 8 at-bats.
Really something the whole team has been looking for, a little bit more offensive consistency. Just haven't seen it in the first half. And
when you look at this team on paper, you would think that they are one of the better offensive teams in the league.
We have 5 All-Stars.
Just looking at their career numbers, but you do have to remember some young hitters.
We'd have to say it's been a good first half for the Cardinals, but not a excellent one.
For all the good pitching that they've had, and all the quality starts, and times they have really, they have the best ERA in the major leagues at home. Good ERA overall in the National League, but so many times they just have not scored enough runs to help out their pitching staff.
They're loaded for Molina.
Molina once again out. Edmonds shading, more than shading, out towards right field. Big gap out in left center.
3-1. Cardinals have an all-star at the plate, an all-star on deck, all-star at third,
all-star at second.
And there's an all-star on the mound. A lot of stars.
It's John Jay at second.
Well, he's an all-star AAA.
Exactly.
Ball 4. Gallardo walks Molina with the bases loaded, and that will score Albert Pujols 3-0 Cardinals. There's an RBI for you, Al.
Yep. 31 of the season for Albert. Rick Peterson out to talk to his young pitcher.
Rick Peterson comes out to have some words with his all-star pitcher Gallardo. Peterson, really a guru pitching coach. Been around. It's his first year with Milwaukee, but he's been with many other clubs. And we'll do a pitch-by-pitch of that Molina at bat.
The slider there. Tries to overthrow that pitch, falling behind. Another one down. There's another breaking ball. And just overthrowing. And you just kind of wonder, is he just mentally upset with Escobar and his defense? But that's behind you. You got to put that aside and do what you can control, what you can control, and that's throwing to the plate.
Next assignment, Adam Wainwright. He lines this one into right center field, and it's down and all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. Here comes Molina. A bases clearing double for Adam Wainwright, and the Cardinals lead 6-0. How about that?
Well, Ricky, you were doing the game yesterday with Jay Randolph, and a little different when the Cardinals were up 6-0 than how you felt when they were down 8-0. Right. You've been in the gap. John Jay will score. Schumacher. How about the fact that Molina goes from first to all the way around the bases?
Hustled all the way. Gets that extra run for his starting pitcher, Adam Wainwright, who helps himself out. But you look again at the defense of Milwaukee. And it's the reason Gallardo's still out there. Very tough to get 5 outs in an inning and win.
Escobar, very talented. He came into the season as the Brewers' #1 prospect. Gallardo 0-3 against St. Louis with an ERA over 6.5, but he had won 8 out of his last 9. Signed a 5-year contract. He's only 24 years of age. He's an all-star. So right now he's kind of shoulders slumping, head down.
Tyler Green, the 9th batter in this inning. And he didn't look right finishing that pitch as he cut it off a bit, and I thought might have bothered him.
Out there. I wonder if he hurt his back or rib, but now their training staff have come out there.
There's definitely something wrong with that delivery. And I would be very surprised if he's going to stay in this game. And you just hope that it's nothing serious for Gallardo, that maybe he did just hurt a rib or I don't know if it's his hip, Al, or what it is, but
usually, if you're right-handed, you pull the left oblique.
Boy, we know about that deal. Look at this delivery. Just as he finishes it, he just stops almost.
Well, I thought maybe even the pitch before, he looked a little uncomfortable, and then he probably added to it, trying to finish that pitch off.
Very rough 4th of July afternoon for Giovanni Gallardo as he is leaving the field. We'll get you a report on his condition. He still looks like he's in a bit of pain, and we're going to have a call to the bullpen.
They're trying to figure out who it is. Looks like maybe Villanueva, maybe, possibly, as Gallardo is through. They'll have all the time to warm up. So we'll step aside and come back here. Cardinals up ahead 6-0.
Gallardo, we haven't given you his record in ERA yet, but look at everybody else. Not very good numbers. Gallardo at 8-3 with a 2.56 earned run average, but he has just left the ballgame here at Busch Stadium as he was injured on his last pitch, and he's given up 6 runs already, and he is responsible for Wainwright, who is on second base. And we go to the bullpen, and it is Carlos Villanueva, and he'll get all the time he needs, Al, to get loose. But we're going to go to break first. We'll be back after this. is just about ready to face the Cardinals here. Bottom of the third inning. Been a very rough inning for the Brewers. They lost their best pitcher. They've given up 5 runs. They've made 2 errors, and they forced Villanueva into this game very early on. That's going to be tough on the Brewers bullpen, and he will face Tyler Green. The count already 1-2 on Green. Now 2-2.
And depending on what happens, this could be charged to Gallardo. If he walks him with it entering into a 2-1 count, it would be Gallardo's walk.
Right. And he may just do that.
And you mentioned, too, that if Gallardo is out for an extended period of time, that's going to make it really hard on Milwaukee. They have looking for pitching. Now, they do have an alternative, as Doug Davis has been on the disabled list, and he has made 3 rehab starts, and last time out he threw 99 pitches.
They were actually wondering about which lefty to put in the bullpen, either Parra or Narveson, but maybe this will change that scenario, and they may end up with yet another left-hander in the rotation, which would make 4.
I was talking to Doug Davis last night at Jim's party, and he said that, you know, they're trying to be patient with him.
Escobar gets another chance and just barely gets Tyler Green. Fielder almost came off the bag. What's our friend Jay Randolph say? Half a dozen, cousin. We're through 3. Back inside Busch Stadium, 6-0 Cardinals. And happy 4th of July to all of our viewers. We are enjoying Adam Wainwright, and he's enjoying 6 runs on the scoreboard. And he has a tremendous ERA at home. We look at the all-time Cardinals. Pretty good names up there, and Gibson and Tudor. And how about the young names up there? Garcia and Wainwright.
Still a lot of season, half the season left, but great start for Jaime with a 1.20 ERA. Adam on there at 1.49. He's 8-0 here at home. He also has that, trying to extend his major league record. It's either 22 or 23 consecutive quality starts here at home, the most ever. Ricky, when you have a long inning like the Cardinals bottom of the third, and Adam's sitting there for a long time. Of course, it did help he was running the bases a little bit, get his adrenaline going. You really do have to concentrate on those 8 warm-up tosses.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to stay sharp, and he has been sharp so far. 4 strikeouts, hasn't walked a batter. And you keep throwing up those zeros, and you kind of push them when they're down now. You can't just let them up and Wainwright's not that kind of guy anyway.
No, you focus on pitching a 1-0 game.
Gave that list of pitchers with low ERAs at home and included Bob Gibson, who you saw pitch a lot, obviously John Tudor, who I played with for a number of years. Both of those guys, like Wainwright, very intense competitors.
No doubt about it.
All three of them fight you tooth and nail. Different personalities, all three.
Much different,
but they could all compete.
You know, whether you're playing cards with John Tudor or doing something else, he was going to be that fiery, intense competitor. And Gibson would take it to another extreme. You know, but you saw Gibby's home ERA in '68 was 1.41. That's the year that he had the overall best ERA of 1.12. So he had to have pitched extremely well on the road.
We got our bullpen catcher to get into a game of cards on the plane with John Tudor, and he was John Tudor's partner. And after we landed, he was in tears, and he said, "Please don't make me play with Mr. Tudor again." And a long one to right. And that is home run number 19 for Cory Hart.
It's also a 19-game hitting streak for Cory Hart, and breaks up the shutout.
How about the power the other way, Al?
Cory Hart is a very underrated player. Now, people in Milwaukee know how talented he is, and as we mentioned earlier, got the horrible spring training, fastball kind of up out over the plate, and he's that tall, lanky guy that can hit to all fields.
And that brings in Prince Fielder, lined out to second. Schumacher playing him in the same position, very deep second base. And it's a ground ball to him. Schumacher with a long throw takes care of Fielder. Well, make sure to be as quick as Vince Coleman, the 1985 Rookie of the Year, to collect the Coleman bobblehead on Friday, July 30th. 25,000 fans will receive the Vince Coleman bobblehead with paid admission, compliments of Coca-Cola and Deerbergs. For info, you can just go to cardinals.com/promotions. That was one exciting player, Mr. Coleman.
Oh, really was. Vince, you have to have that confidence, don't you? He had it.
Schumacher, busy inning, takes care of Ryan Braun. Always good to see him making out.
Ryan Braun is, say, a very, very good hitter.
That brings in Jim Edmonds. He struck out in the second inning, one of 4 victims. Wainwright here this afternoon. Wainwright's only blemish, the home run here to lead off the inning by Cory Hart, all-star right fielder, his 19th and 61st RBI. And Hart's up there with the league leaders with RBIs as a Sailor joins us here today, enjoying his 4th. It's a little picture of Americana right there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Norman Rockwell picture. Having a hot dog at the ballpark.
Like we had a induction ceremony for the Air Force prior to the game. About 50 recruits. I'll tell you one thing, in this economy, you don't know what you want to do.
It's a good option.
It really is. I mean, particularly the Navy, where everything is nuclear or electronic. Go in there and get your education, sign up with a recruiter, and walk out with an incredible job.
You get the opportunities, you might even get a hot dog. Edmonds lines out. Build-A-Bear Workshop Day at Busch Stadium. It's the perfect reason to watch the Cardinals play the Pirates Sunday, August 1st. Yes, I said it, perfect. Fans ages 12 and under will receive a Build-A-Bear outfitted in a 1985 Cardinals replica jersey. It's sure to be a very good time. For tickets, call 314-345-9000. Old Glory.
What do you remember from the 85 team?
I remember it just being fun and exciting. I remember Willie McGee running first to third. I remember them stealing bases, and also remember playing in October.
That made it a lot more fun.
You bet. Line drive right at Jim Edmonds. First ball hitting again, Felipe Lopez. Carlos Villanueva has taken over for Gallardo, an all-star. And here's the rest of the all-star starters. Albert Pujols, the leading vote getter, will be the first baseman. Molina, his teammate, behind the plate. Right, Ramirez Utley, who is injured, are the other infielders, as is Jason Hayward from the Braves. Ethier and Ryan Braun here this afternoon are the remaining National League all-star starters. Congratulations to all those gentlemen. What an honor that is. And that's the best of the best there.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, there's no perfect way. I think they've tried to tweak it here and there. It's the fans' game, so give them the bulk of the votes. Players have a little bit to say, and
I think for the most part, fans get it right.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'll guarantee you, the players have their own prejudices. They wouldn't have it perfect either.
And Rasmus strikes out, and they'll have to throw him out. Strikeout 2-3. He's 2 for 3 now. Don't forget the Fan of the Game photo contest. Go to foxsportsmidwest.com to upload a photo of fans in Cardinals gear. You could win tickets to see Damn Yankees at the Muni. Enter now at foxsportsmidwest.com. It brings Albert Pujols to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Single scored in that 5-run Cardinal third inning. All of those runs, by the way, unearned in that inning against the starter Gallardo.
You think Albert Pujols can ever satisfy the fans?
No.
I mean, he set the bar so high, but here for the 8th time in his career, here he is prior to the All-Star break. He already has 20 home runs and 60 RBIs, and everyone wants to talk about a down season. He's in the top 10 in all 3 Triple Crown categories in the National League.
One thing you like about Albert, Al, is I'm not even sure he's been satisfied with this.
Oh, well, of course he's not. He's tied. He's the leader in home runs. He's tied for second in RBIs, and tied for 9th in his average. What an incredible career. Is this his 10th year? Playing in his 9th All-Star game. He was the 2000s decade Triple Crown winner and spotted everybody a full season.
(2-1) to Albert. And I would have to say, Al, if you look at the first half of the season, and if there was such a thing as a half-season MVP, which there's not, I don't know who else you give it to other than Albert Pujols based on the numbers. And yet we look at what he's done, and we know there's more, and we want more, and Tony La Russa wants more of his entire club.
And Albert wants more too, but how fair is it? We always point to the last couple of days. He rounds into a double play or the base loader, does this, does that.
Grounds out to shortstop. Ends an inning. It happens. Cardinals go down 1-2-3. Counsell will lead it off.
Oh, I thought he was trying to steal a kiss there from
I don't know what he's doing.
He wants to get sprayed.
He's hot.
Cool off. Hey, so I take it you've been inside the arch?
Oh yeah, I love all the history at the base of the arch.
At the base. All right. I haven't been there for a while, but I've been inside and up into the top. My wife's a native St. Louis, and she's never been in there.
Is that right? Three to 1 takes care of Craig Counsell as we're trying to figure out how to get the Roboskis up into the arch.
I've been there.
Well, I know you have. We want you both to go up there. It's time for our trivia question. Which team has allowed the most earned runs in the last 2 seasons?
I gotta say Milwaukee.
I guess it would make sense that it would be one of the 2 teams here, and we knew that it wouldn't be the Cardinals.
Right, and Milwaukee, they thought they had solved some of their pitching problems coming into the season when they reacquired Doug Davis and also Jim Wolf. Cardinals, by the way, had the least amount of earned runs. Randy Wolf, Jim Wolf stays up. Big brother of the umpire.
He hasn't given up any earned runs in his career.
Never made a mistake either.
Base hit the left field for LaCroix. We look at this on our Plaza Tire Service Exmo cam.
Yeah, just beyond his reach is Felipe can play the infield positions, but his least experience over at third. David Freese went out with his ankle injury and placed on the disabled list. The first game, Felipe had a very, very strong offensive and defensive game. Since then, we've seen some of the harder hit balls that he's he plays a little bit too much to the side for my taste.
And that's really been his MO. He's not a great defensive player, but he can flat out hit. Every place he's gone, he's hit. And he's a nice replacement while the Cardinals are waiting for David Freese to mend with his bone bruise at his ankle.
Ricky, we've talked an awful lot about the inconsistent of the offense, but Cardinal defense has been disappointing this year.
And a chance to do some defense here. Schumacher off balance throw, and the Cardinals turn it anyway. As Tyler Green pirouettes at second base. Nifty play by Tyler Green. Cardinals lead Milwaukee 6-1. Last game of the series here this afternoon. Tyler Green, nice play to end the top half.
what makes it so tough is you're anticipating to throw chest high, and you're trying to time it, come across that bag, make your throw to first base. You're expecting that ball chest high to make a nice, real easy transition, and then when you have to alter your path and reach out, snare that wide throw, still step on the bag, complete the throw, it just makes it that much more difficult. And made a nice play out of it.
And Escobar runs well, and you've got to hurry. Matt Holliday intentionally walked his first time, struck out in the third. Holliday, Jay, and Schumacher for the Redbirds. Noticed Jose Oquendo's playing. I don't know if you play the coaching box. I guess you're not playing it, but he is way back behind the third base.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason for it.
I know what it is.
47 today.
I didn't know how old he was.
47.
I thought he was 57. You sure?
Secret weapon. 47.
I asked him what's bigger in Puerto Rico, the independence of the United States and the celebration, or Jose Oquendo's birthday.
He said Oquendo's birthday.
No, he didn't. He said nobody cares. He was being humble, though. Everybody loves Jose Oquendo. And happy birthday to my former teammate.
For about, I know, about 6 years, he had a tremendous golf tournament in Puerto Rico, where Anheuser-Busch really got behind it with so many of the Hispanic markets in the United States, where you'd have all the golf tournaments in Hispanic markets. The winning team would go to Puerto Rico and play in his tournament, and it was phenomenal. Chi would fly in with a helicopter, put on an unbelievable demonstration. Great time. Got to meet a lot of people there, a lot of friends, and almost don't know. And then somebody messed it up.
Yeah, it happens. I'm still waiting for my first invite to that tournament, and I guess I won't get it now that it's not happening.
No longer.
Holliday strikes out for the second time. One out here in the fifth. Enjoy the Cardinals baseball experience at Busch Stadium when you stay at the Hyatt Regency St. Louis at the Arch. Package includes overnight accommodations, $10 food and beverage credit per day at the Brew House, tickets to a Cardinals game, plus a personalized Rawlings baseball bat. Visit HyattRegencySt.Louis.com for more information.
You know, a lot of the people there at the Hyatt, and they're very, very nice and do a great job. Tremendous renovation.
Carlos Villanueva has done a nice job in relief of Giovanni Gallardo, who went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 6 runs, just 1 of them earned, walked 2, struck out 2. And he has an oblique strain, is the official word on Gallardo. And we know, Al, what that can be like. You've had that before, I assume?
No.
You haven't?
No, it's one of those injuries that was discovered in the 80s. No one was ever allowed to have that. Never heard about it.
You guys must have been in better shape or something.
I think Whitey said something about it. It was the better diet we had.
Guys got hurt less when they had beer and hot dogs.
Right.
Hey, he's a Hall of Famer, soon to be Hall of Famer.
That's right.
July 25th. Congratulations again to Whitey Herzog.
Anybody that ever played for him, and we both did, here in St. Louis, and I played for him in Kansas City, think the world is the White Rat.
3-0 to Jay is a bit low, and the first base runner against Villanueva is John Jay. He reached on that error out in the 3rd inning, and that's really where the kind of floodgates opened up for the Cardinals. Schumacher did the same following both of those errors by the shortstop Escobar, and Cardinals built a 6-0 lead. Cory Hart's home run has made it 6-1.
Like you said, it opened it up, but you've got to jump through it. And the Cardinals, particularly with the help of Adam Wainwright, his base clearing double.
Jay took a step towards second. Not a bad hit and run situation here. Cardinals up 6-1 in the 5th. wouldn't say that's a safe lead. It's a nice lead, but not a safe lead. Fielder holds him on there. Got a nice lead. And we'll see if he goes. He does not. Strike one to Schumacher.
When you think about early in the season when you had like Alan Craig and John Jay, Tyler Green earlier. Craig hit by the way, a walk-off 3-run home run last night to help Memphis to a victory. But you know, if you're not playing every day or getting a ton of at-bats, these young players are better off playing in the minor leagues.
You can't develop.
You really can't develop. It'll stunt your development. If you're sitting here, sitting on the bench, and John Jay will now probably, because of Ludwig's injury, he'll get a chance to play on a more frequent basis, and he earned that when he went. He was a very good pinch hitter when he was here, and like you say, the few playing times he got, as he'll be diving back in a Plaza Tire Service Exmo Camp.
Perfect how he dives to the outfield side of the base.
Yeah.
Make that tag just a little bit tougher for the first baseman fielder. And there goes Jay, and there is a line drive off the bat of Schumacher. You better get back. Edmonds with the long throw. Not in time to double up John Jay. Schumacher hit that ball right on the nose, but couldn't get the ball on the ground as Jay was running. Cardinal fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats that you want or to sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season long. So go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Brings in Yadier Molina. He's 0 for 1. He walked and scored in that third inning. All-Star Yadier Molina for the second time.
Bases loaded walk, got his 31st RBI, and Wainwright with the biggest blow of the game.
Nice play by the catcher LaCroix. And one of the reasons Yadier Molina is an all-star is how well he throws out runners. Of course, he's a good defensive catcher as we look at his offensive numbers, but the defensive side, 41% of the runners have been thrown out. On the Brewers side, they've only thrown out as a team 10 of the 62 runners who've attempted to steal.
Terrace has only thrown out one of like 30.
Exactly.
And Yachty, I mean, you don't even get 30 people try to steal off him. So not only does he throw out better than 40%, but he just almost shuts down the running game entirely.
One of those underappreciated assets here in St. Louis.
He's definitely appreciated by his manager and pitching coach.
And I guess
and
by
all
enough
the starters. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
and by enough fans, I guess, if they voted him to the All-Star team. So
well, that's true.
Fans got that one right. Not a lot of catchers having breakout years in the National League. Beat out Brian McCann of the Braves, who will be the backup catcher. Infielders who made the team, Adrian Gonzalez and Ryan Howard, first baseman. Omar Infante, Brandon Phillips, Martin Prado, who leads the National League in hitting. Albert, Hanley Ramirez, Jose Reyes, Scott Rowland, Troy Tulowitzki, Chase Utley, and David Wright, the rest of the infielders on the National League squad. Tulowitzki and Chase Utley both on the disabled list, won't be able to play. They'll both be inactive for the All-Star game. The outfielders, starters are Ryan Braun, Ethier, and Jason Hayward, who also can't play. Michael Bourne, Marlon Byrd, Cory Hart, Matt Holliday, and Chris Young round out the outfielders. And speaking of Hall of Famers, as we were a minute ago, there's one, Rick Hummel. He needs a filing cabinet, doesn't he, Al? All those papers he's got.
Just like what kind of references and resources he'd have before the computer.
He is a reference. From the neck up, that guy's is better than any Google or any baseball encyclopedia. You just ask Rick about something. Had an official scoring question for him the other day, and he's right on it. I mean, he knows the game, no doubt about it.
And a lot of respect for Rick.
Very humble man, too. 6'4" is the force out at second. Hall of Famer in the house. Happy 4th, everybody. By Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. In the Ford Plaza, number 1, Mr. Smith taking some hacks. Didn't have the distance. Not that easy, sir.
Maybe that guy needs to go to some of those Cardinal tryout camps. You're involved in those.
I love those clinics. In fact, we get help at those clinics from young kids who are in the Gamers organization. And Scott Cooper asked that we would let people know about the tryouts for the Gamers.
Yeah, Scott Cooper and Matt Whiteside.
They do a great job with that program. Those kids always come help us out at those clinics.
Oh, that's super. And I know they get tryouts. They have a traveling team. Is that what it is?
They do. They've got a nice program here in St. Louis. Adam Wainwright with a nice program going here this afternoon. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 6th inning. Just 58 pitches as he's working here in the top of the 6th inning.
So Inglet, who went in when Ricky Weeks was thrown out of this ball game, mentioned that he is leading baseball with 11 pinch hits. Cardinals premier pinch hitter Stavinoa is second with 10.
Inglet didn't like that call, but the guy who was hitting in the leadoff spot kind of got in trouble for arguing a strike, so he decides to kind of take it easy. Not happy with that first curveball for a strike from Wainwright, and he gets another one on the outside corner, 0-2.
His manager wouldn't appreciate.
No, that's one of those unwritten rules.
Right.
Now, if he called a strike on that, we might have to have a third second baseman. I'll tell you, I give these guys credit. One of the things you understand with the competitiveness of these players and the way that they're kind of giving everything they have, I mean, the emotions run high, and sometimes it's tough to control your emotions. But it's part of the game.
I've never had that problem, Ricky, so I wouldn't understand that.
We need to talk about that then, Al. Another strikeout for Wainwright. What's on tap? Jeff Suppan looking for his first victory back with the Cardinals. He'll be opposed by Jeff Francis. The Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Fox Sports Midwest in beautiful Colorado. How about that view?
That is gorgeous. That wasn't Red Rock, was it? Or down around Colorado Springs, but well, there's some beautiful, beautiful scenery. I'd love to go up to Vail in the summertime.
Just a gorgeous place, no doubt about it. And one of the fun perks of playing the game at this level, and for you and I to be following our favorite club here, we get a chance to go to some nice cities and meet a lot of great people across the country who are involved in this game of baseball. We've got a lot of friends, Al. A lot of places.
Sure do. And a lot of fans of the Cardinals, especially when they're on the road.
A lot of fans of Adam Wainwright right now. Strikeout number 6 for Wainwright. He leads 6-1. And he leads off. We appreciate everyone who participated in our U.S. Cellular text poll. We wanted to know your favorite thing about the 4th of July. Bears didn't make out very well. Fireworks, well, that's our winner. B, 69%. Barbecues at 29%. Al and I both voted D.
I did. And yet, I went over to the fairgrounds yesterday at Webster Grove Fairgrounds just to get some barbecue.
Barbecue? Did you see fireworks?
No, I didn't wait around, but I saw everybody positioning themselves for it.
But maybe you could have covered all 3, A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Warm up toss, throw down to second,
whoops,
or to center. Got to keep the center fielder loose too.
But you know, I got some of the ribs by the Lions Club out there. I got about 3 slabs of ribs. Helped cheat on my barbecue for today.
Well, you and I both agree that really the best thing to do on the 4th of July is to read about the wonderful contribution of our founding fathers. Isn't that right, Al?
I've got that memorized. So I've read that in past on other holidays, not the 4th of July. I'm not celebrating with fireworks.
Well, you can celebrate it however you want. Cardinals celebrating with a 6-1 lead so far. Wainwright, a lot of damage with his 3-run double in the 3rd inning. Leads it off for the Cardinals here, 1-1, and now 2-1 to Adam.
And my neighbor's going to be very happy because I did not purchase fireworks this year. They got mad at me a couple years ago.
Can you get mad at you, Al?
It was 9 o'clock, and they were mad because I was setting off fireworks on the 4th of July.
This is America, isn't it?
Well, that's what I thought.
Might be a rule against that, though, Al. We'll have to check.
Well, there is, but that's beside the point.
Okay. I hope that fan's all right over the Brewers dugout, and then high fly off the bat of Adam Wainwright. Yeah, that's one of the things that players would in unison say is one thing they wish fans knew more is how much that ball hurts and how careful you have to be with foul balls. It's something we see regularly. I met somebody who works here at the ballpark, is one of the trainers, paramedics that works here at the ballpark, and about once a week somebody gets hit with a ball, and they're generally fine after a while, but it does hurt.
Yeah, and gentlemen there were trying to protect the ladies, and last second they pull their hands away, and
it happens.
Gets their loved ones.
Wainwright strikes out. That's strikeout number 3 for Villanueva. Brings in Tyler Green. He's 0 for 2. Made a nice defensive play on a double play in the 5th inning, started by Skip Schumacher. And he swung the bat well, Alice. It's coming up from Memphis.
He get the long home run. You know, last couple of years, he's starting to show some offensive signs. #1 draft pick out of Georgia Tech a few years back, and did hit 15 home runs at AAA last season. He was an all-star for Pacific Coast League this year.
Edmonds takes care of that line drive. And that's a good at-bat for Tyler Green, but didn't get good results.
Tyler Green, also when he gets on base, he can steal some bases. Breaking ball right there, lines it out to center field, and comes up empty. Tyler 0 for 3 today. Villanueva has done a nice job since coming in for the injured starter, Gallardo.
Talking about Tyler Green, I think he's made some kind of adjustment at the plate. There were times last year where he was overmatched.
Well, one of the things he did was he added about 20 pounds of muscle, and he still has that wiry frame where he can handle that weight, and possibly even a little bit more. And you know, we're both big fans of Brendan Ryan, but it's unfortunate. I know Brendan understands this, but it's unfortunate that he is out of options, because Brendan probably right now, for the best thing he could do is go down and play every day and relax a little bit at AAA. But
I agree,
because he's out of options,
it's not a
Cardinals
choice.
Can't do that. You know, they don't want to lose him. He's too valuable. But
so when you're playing a guy who's not in a good groove, you're just kind of adding to all the muscle memory of the bad swings and the bad defensive plays, and you can't really get straight. Oh my! That's strike 3 on the right-hander's batter's box. Felipe Lopez can't believe it.
Look at this.
Top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Cardinals. We've seen some dramatic things with planes here in the air show downtown. I'm not sure I can handle that little loop-de-loop, Al. How about you? I know I couldn't.
I don't think my neck would have.
Your neck, my stomach. 0-1 on Fielder. I don't know if you can handle that one, but how about this one, Al? In fact, I can't even watch that anymore. Anybody got any thumbs up here?
Kind of reminded me of John Jay and Stavanoa flying that simulator.
That's right, I remember that. Didn't he break it? Didn't Stavanoa break that simulator?
He broke the seat adjustment. You know, they told him to pull up on it, but forgot to tell him to push the button and pull up on it. He broke it right off the simulator. They said, that's a first.
Didn't have anybody that strong handling that, I guess. 2-2 to Prince Fielder. He's 0 for 2. It's been all Wainwright today. He's been perfect except for the 4th inning home run by Cory Hart. There's a curveball, strike 3, and down goes Fielder. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Wainwright. And 7 on the afternoon. Wainwright's very sharp.
Adam celebrating his first selection of the All-Star team. Good backdoor breaking ball, and yeah, that's whatever happened to the days of choking up with 2 strikes and making sure you put the ball in play.
That left with Ty Cobb.
I think Prince Fielder was trying to simulate some of those loop-to-loops.
That's probably what it's like to hit a Wainwright curveball. We should talk some about Chris Carpenter as Braun takes strike 1. He's 0 for 2. Chris Carpenter not sharp yesterday, particularly with his curveball. And you wonder whether or not there was any effect from the line drive the start before.
You know, I think we just, that's a valid question. But I think we've got to say no because, he physically said he didn't have a problem, even during that game. And, he took his bullpen session in between starts and didn't have a problem.
There's a ground ball to the right side. Pujols is going to have to hustle to get to the bag, and he does. Schumacher waited for him to get there as Albert was way off the base.
Albert sometimes goes so far to his right that there are times where he will take a step to the right, and then he realizes, okay, that's too much a second, I'll go back. And what you see, there's what that timing. He's waiting for Albert to get back to the bag, turn around, and very important, that little tap of his glove with the ball, so he'd be in the proper rhythm when he did release it.
And he kept his feet moving towards first base, which you want young infielders to do instead of just kind of becoming flat-footed and stopping.
And you saw how gently he tossed the ball there, but you want to make it firm enough that you don't let the ball just sail on you.
Jim Edmonds struck out, lined out. Just 75 pitches for Wainwright, working here in the 7th.
Buddy Landon Edmonds, Jim's 4-year-old son, saw him last night, and I said, Landon, isn't it cool your daddy's playing baseball? And I said, what did you think today? He goes, well, I was at home watching on TV, but my daddy hit a home run.
All right. He certainly did that. He's done it 385 other times in his career. 3-1 to Edmonds. This one fouled off. Wainwright has not walked a batter today, given up just 3 hits. First pitch strike, 17 out of 23. That's a great ratio. Gallardo had a hit in the 3rd. Hart's home run in the 4th, and a single by Jonathan LaCroix in the 5th inning. And that's it.
He's got 121 strikeouts now and only 32 walks.
And if you're just joining us, starter Yolani Gallardo lasted just 2 2/3 innings. One of the top pitchers in the National League. He is going to the All-Star game. He gave up 6 runs and he was hurt. We think he strained that oblique. Curveball. You betcha. Another strikeout for Wainwright. He is on a roll. Rasmus, Pujols, and Holiday will hit in the 7th. Cardinals lead 6-1. They have just 5 hits today as Milwaukee's made a couple of errors. Nick Pratt is today's merchandise winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th, Nick qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. And some home run potential certainly for the Cardinals here in the 7th inning. Rasmus will lead it off. He has 16 on the season. A pretty solid first half for him. He'll have to do it against a left-hander. Zach Braddock will take over for Villanueva, who was nearly perfect in his 3 1/3 innings. Just walked 1, Cardinal struck out 4, and his left-hander takes over. He's our Chevy call to the bullpen.
Zach, opening day, was 22 years of age, 6'2", 233. He's from Southampton, New Jersey. He was selected in the 18th round of the 2005 first-year player draft. See his numbers. He was called up during the season. They only have 3 relievers that have been with them all season long. A lot of youngsters been called up. Supposedly a very hard thrower.
There's a line drive to center. Cardinals again, first ball hitting. We've seen a lot of that today. Line out to Edmonds. Retires Rasmus. He's now 2 for 4 on the afternoon. And it brings in Albert Pujols. Always exciting here at the ballpark. Doesn't matter the score. Doesn't matter who the Cardinals are playing. When Albert comes to the plate, everybody pays attention.
And the Cardinals need to win today, as it appears Cincinnati will win their ball game. They lead 10-3 over the Cubbies. It's in the top of the 7th.
Last you told me they were losing. Now what happened?
That was about 9 runs ago.
They scored 9 runs in an inning earlier this week.
Yeah, it was. I think it's the 7th inning. Was it yesterday?
Maybe 2 days
Friday.
ago. 10-3 is the score now. The Reds are still hitting top of the 7th. Boy, the Cubs have really gone in the wrong direction.
Ooh.
Pirates lead the Phillies 8-5. They're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Philadelphia, even with some of their injuries, that they would still, and they probably still will make a charge.
There's a fly ball to left field, and Braun goes back, and he will make the play just in front of the warning track. Albert did not quite get that one.
Didn't sound good.
Didn't sound right. Sights and sounds of the ballpark, and if you're around enough games, you kind of can tell when somebody hits one on the sweet part of the bat and when they don't.
So often when big sluggers will hit the ball and You could just, by the crack of the bat, you know whether it's a home run or not.
It's our long drive inning. That was a fairly long drive, but not long enough.
Not long enough. Get 4 tires, but no engine.
Get a matchbox, maybe. Remember those?
Oh, sure.
1-0 to Matt Holliday against the left-hander Zach Braddock. Well, he was trying to hit one a long way. Comes up empty. 2 strikeouts on the afternoon for Holliday. Here's a sign in right field. It's Madison's birthday. Hit me the ball.
Holliday can hit.
That's a long way to hit the ball.
Ops field, that's not that long for Matt.
That'd be off the back of the Cardinals bullpen.
You want to tell him he can't do it?
Nope.
One of his first home runs as a Cardinal. He hit about in that area. It was against the Cubs last year.
See if Madison can have a happy birthday. 2-1 pitch is hit on the ground to shortstop. And that takes care of Mr. Holliday. Sorry, Madison, you're just going to have to wait a little while longer. Disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Cardinals are having a little fun today. 6-1, much better than yesterday. But hey, speaking of yesterday, congratulations to Tyler Leach. He got married yesterday. Tyler works with the affiliates department of Fox Sports. So, Tyler, congratulations. I'd love to acknowledge your new bride, but we were not text her name. Hope that's not a beginning of this marriage. Remember, it's a partnership.
I know, Al. I know. He'll learn. Might be the hard way. There's a base hit to center field. A blue pit for the veteran Craig Counsell. And that's just the 4th hit of the afternoon off of Adam Wainwright.
I'm just amazed at how many lessons you learned.
Sometimes
the hard way.
You got to learn them the hard way. That's the way most of the baseball lessons come to you, and that's the importance of the minor leagues developing. And
I was talking about marriage advice.
Well, that's a lot harder than the minor league.
A lot more work.
Here's a good cutter from Wainwright. Strike 1 to Jonathan LaCroix. He's 1 for 2. Wainwright would like a double play here. LaCroix runs pretty well for a catcher.
I noticed that. He gets down the line. It's called youth.
Exactly. Well, the young man just had a base hit to left field.
It's his second hit off of Wainwright, and only the 5th of the afternoon. So
Wainwright a little surprised that he was able to handle that pitch. He was in on his hands trying to get that double play.
Pretty good rip at it, as he was hoping for the ground ball and hit the line drive.
We'll see if that gets some action going in the Cardinal bullpen. Wainwright has 3 complete games on the season. Only one National League starter has more. That's Roy Halladay, also selected to the All-Star team.
He's found some rough sledding lately. Part of his lack of run support.
Curveball, strike one. A lot of starters in the National League. Wainwright had his bad outing about 2 starts ago, and Garcia had a rough one. Carpenter a rough one yesterday. Ubaldo Jimenez gave up 7 runs yesterday.
No way.
Yes, he did. I don't think he'd given up 7 all year. Curveball hit on the ground to second. Schumacher to Green to first. Double play. That ball was not hit very hard. I didn't think there was any chance they could turn 2 on this one.
Well, it wasn't hit particularly hard, and Escobar is still having problems, but Tyler Green is more familiar position as shortstop. He just hangs right in there, and he's got the runner sliding down on you. He dropped down to make sure that guy, the runner, gets down, or you just eat a baseball. And you're taught. I mean, just throw that right between the eyes. And that, not too many guys are going to run right into that one. So
they'll duck.
They'll duck, and you'll slide. You don't get hit.
And that's clean baseball right there. That's LaCroix going in hard. That's the way you're supposed to. And that's Green making him get down like you're supposed to. And good turn by the Cardinals shortstop, Tyler Green. Carlos Gomez.
He's what they got in the J.J. Hardy trade. Young man, very talented.
Projected to be the everyday center fielder. Numbers through 51 games, just 18 RBIs. And he hits this ball. Albert handles it. Going to be a tough throw. Wainwright covers. And another scoreless frame for Adam Wainwright. We go to the bottom of the 8th. John Jay will lead it off. Good defense for the Redbirds.
How about Albert Pujols? Boy, you can just sit there and pick any date, and you can have a highlight of Albert and a home run. Last season, Kobe Rasmus, long home run into right field to Cincinnati.
And we'll see if the Cardinals can Hit a long one here this afternoon. They'll have to do it against Cameron Lowe. He is the 4th Brewers pitcher here on this Independence Day celebration at the ballpark. A lot of fans out here with their families celebrating. And I hope everyone's having a great celebration today. Always been one of my favorite holidays, not just for the meaning of it and the reminders of the patriotic ideals of our country and those who've served in the past, but also think of those who are serving us now, Al, all across the world.
Everything above the nation's birthday and greatest country on earth. We are all so privileged to live in this great nation.
Good reminder.
Ricky, you played several years of winter ball.
I did.
I always enjoy doing that, and as long as you realize you're outside the United States and respect other people's culture, you get along fine. But
there's a line drive into right center field. Could this be enough? It's gone! John Jay, some fireworks of his own.
It's not his first, but quite a day for the young man. His second Major League home run. And he's been right in the thick of things offensively. John Jay did a nice job here, but got sent down. And they got the veteran Randy Wynn. Hit .321 down there. Really playing every day and doing a great job. Lowe leaves that ball right down and in into a dangerous spot for a left-hand hitter. These young men are new John Jay fans.
He tried to hit one to Madison over the Cardinal bullpen, but he hit it just a little bit late.
He thought she moved, going to the concession stand or something. But
all smiles is John Jay, as he should be. 7-1 Cardinals.
I was going to say, in winter ball, if you respect other people's culture and you don't try and really change things.
Of course, the folks in the Dominican Republic, that's where I spent my time out of the country. And Puerto Rico, of course, is part of the United States as a Commonwealth. And they do celebrate July 4th there, and they don't quite do it as much as folks here in the remaining 50 states of the Union. But in the Dominican, there's a great respect for the United States. They love the tourists there, and they really love baseball there. That's one of the things that's such a tie to our country. When you go to the Dominican, they know all about the American players.
I think Albert said something redirecting that.
Schumacher is retired. John Jay's drive out 405 feet.
Just, as I said, ball down and in and just loaded up on it. It's the second big league home run. There's a couple new John Jay fans.
I love the fans' reaction. I love the fans' reaction. No, I mean, that's what this game is all about. That's so cool to see that.
Those young men they'll be talking about that home run. Who's that new guy? That's why, I'm playing in the minor leagues. A lot of those fans get attached to some of the players through the minor league system, and then all of a sudden, I still remember Bob Taylor. And Bob's down at Little Rock, and met him back there, coming through there, and now he's married to Wanda. They're probably watching this game, celebrating the 4th, but when I first came to the big leagues, everyone thought I was too young, coming out of the players' entrance. Well, he's too young to be a ball player. And the Taylors would be with me, and they say, well, he's too old to be a player. He's probably a coach. But I really hope they have enjoyed some of my success, because they were really a part of it, coming through the minor leagues, helping me out.
And you think about John Jay hitting that home run and the celebration when people hear about that, even down in Memphis, not only his friends down there and his family, but the coaches that have kind of prepared him to get back up here. They're excited about that as well. Yadier Molina lined out, walked, and scored, and also bounced out. All smiles is John Jay. celebrating with some bubble gum.
You don't have to pay for it at this level.
No, you don't.
Well, you ultimately do when you go visit the dentist.
Yeah. And you've got some clubhouse dues to pay. 2-2 is a bit low. Count full to Yadier Molina. Cameron Lowe.
He pitched in Japan last year. He did have some prior major league experience with Texas. And we saw him on Thursday. I forget this was a 4-game set. And
he was tough that night. Ground ball to third. Long throw. Is handled by Counsell. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. And here we go. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America.
Nice applause for Adam Wainwright. He's trying to pick up his 12th victory. Already got a birthday, Christmas. What kind of present you want to talk about, as he was selected to his first All-Star team today. And he gave himself and his teammates a present with a bases clearing 3-run double.
He's 1 inning away from his 4th complete game of the season. Thrown just 89 pitches through 8 innings. Facing Cameron Lowe. This is one of those at-bats that you just as soon not take. I mean, he really, I know he's competitive.
I know where you're going, because you got enough run support. You want to get back out there. You want to complete it. I think he still enjoys hitting.
I'm trying to compose myself after you said that you know where I'm going. I'm a little concerned about that, Al.
I thought your mother raised you better.
See what Wainwright does. 1 and 2. Where's he going? Nowhere yet.
His upper body's going one place and his lower body's going another.
They're starting to throw him more breaking balls. They know he can hit the fastball.
And then you're just hoping for the hanger.
2-2 to Wainwright. He's going back to the mound now. That's where he belongs. We got the 9th when we come back. Complete games in his big league career. Here's a look at those particular games. Started with the Dodgers in 07. That good game that he had here in 2010 against Milwaukee, where he went 9 innings and threw a 2-hitter. And today, 8 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run. And he is looking to complete yet another game here this afternoon, as he has been outstanding all afternoon long. Just 5 hits by the Brewers. And the Cardinals, with just 6 of their own, But were helped early on, Al, with a couple of errors. And that's one of the reasons why they're leading 7-1.
Well, he's a big part of it with his 3-run double. So not only has he pitched well, but as advertised, so we had 2 very good starters, 2 very good hitting pitchers. One side showed up, Adam Wainwright.
A bit of a mirror image to the game here yesterday. Cardinals really struggled. But that's why you start over again.
And you know, we struggled defensively, and that could be said about Milwaukee here today. Adams allowed 5 hits. The Cardinals only have 6.
There's a ground ball to that of Inglet. 1 out here in the 9th inning. 2 outs away from complete game number 4 of the season for Adam Wainwright.
Cory Hart did extend his hitting streak to 19 games with his 19th home run. That was back in the 4th. He has 61 RBIs now. An idea of the kind of year he's having. That's 1 better than Albert and 1 fewer home runs.
No walks, 8 strikeouts for Wainwright here today. Does not look like he is tiring at all. A lot of folks here today, 38,581. And we should also make this announcement. Yadi and his wife, Yadier Molina, and his wife Wanda had a baby girl this morning. Adriana, congratulations. All-star game. New baby daughter. Congratulations, Yadier and Wanda Molina.
And catching a great game. So he's sure quite an eventful day for Yadi.
What can top that? Ground ball to third. Lopez takes care of Hart. And it's time to look at our Budweiser player of the game. And who else but Adam Wainwright?
Well, he hasn't done anything to hurt himself. Just excellent season. As they already on the auxiliary scoreboard above the Cardinal bullpen, they've already given him his 12th victory. 12-5, 2.25 ERA according to the scoreboard above the Cardinal dugout.
That is a little premature, isn't it? That's like one of those things you don't do. You don't pack the bat bag early. One of those superstitions in baseball.
Baseball gods kind of frown upon those things, but I think we can trust Adam.
Well, he may be 12-5 here shortly. The only one standing in the way is Prince Fielder. The crowd on their feet. Eight strikeouts today. He struck out Fielder to end that last shutout.
1 hit, the only base runner through the first 5 batters.
And down goes Fielder. Adam Wainwright is indeed 12-5 as the Cardinals win 7-1. What a day for Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina, and the rest of the Cardinals. We'll be back with more from St. Louis. They win this one 7-1.